Hey Jody, and welcome to this episode of On the Couch. So I want to start this one with a little story. So the other day I was working with a cricketer in the nets, and let's just call this cricketer Josh. We were in the nets, and he was sort of hitting. We were working on balls that's a little bit straight on his body, and he was hitting them through the leg side, front foot. So he's like whipping them, and he was whipping them with sort of a technique that's maybe a little bit more modern. And so for my eye as a coach, I don't like looking at it, like it looks a bit weird. But there is a lot of cricketers in the international stage that sort of use that technique to hit the ball through there. But for me personally, I'm kind of like, not my favorite sort of way to see somebody hit the ball through the leg side. Nonetheless, knowing that coaching isn't about me, and that's not what this On the Couch is about, I sort of just asked him to hit with a technique or the skill, or execute the skill in the way that I do enjoy, and he can do that too. And so because I believe coaching is about providing players with options, and that there isn't really a right way and a wrong way, even though his method sort of challenges me a little bit as a coach, I sort of thought, what if you can use both? Because he can play both, but he prefers to just use the one method. And so I thought to ask him, so which one do you hit straighter? And he kind of looked at me a little bit funny. And so I said, yeah, it would be really cool if you knew which one of the two you hit straighter and which one you hit squarer. And so depending on where the fielder is, then that would allow you to use the one technique or the other. And his response to me in that moment was, but Jody, I'm only 15. I don't need to think like a professional cricketer. And so straight away I asked him the question, and I said, but Josh, when's the right time for you to start thinking like a professional? Like, when is that? And so this is what this On the Couch is really more about, is that if we don't go to practice or go through our life with a vision of where we want to be, and we start being that as much as we can in the now, then how do you get there? In my training as a mental or performance coach, I'll always remember the example they gave us was, let's say you want to be the CEO of a company. At what point in time do you start thinking, acting, behaving like a CEO? Only once you have the job? Only once you get the job? Or do you go, you know what, I want to be a CEO, so I'm going to stand up every morning and I'm going to dress like a CEO. I'm going to start walking like a CEO. I'm going to start talking like a CEO. I'm going to start managing my day like a CEO. Even though you might be the lowest sort of working staff within the workforce. And my sense is that unless you step into that space where you say, I'm a CEO, I'm going to act it, walk it, talk it, think it, you'll never get there, because you're not opening up that possibility within your life to say, that's where I'm going. And so the same to me is true for cricketers, that if you really have the potential and the skill and the ability and the drive and the passion and all of those sort of cool things that sit there under the surface, if you really have all of that within you, at what point in time are you actually going to start thinking like a professional about yourself, your body, your mind, your skill, your training? At what point in time are you actually going to do that? And if you're going to say to me something like, oh, I'll start doing it in 6 months' time, why? Like, why do you want to delay that process to start learning to be that? Because yes, if you're 15 or 12 or 11 and you decide, I'm going to be a professional, and I'm going to start thinking that way, by no means do I think you'll nail it the next day. So it's this constant process, and so by the time you actually become a professional, by that time you'll be so ingrained in it, and you'll know what you're about, and you'll know and understand your game at a deeper level. Then you only wait till you have it, maybe, and then you go, okay, cool, now that I'm a professional, now I will. And so yeah, that's my message for you today. Make your mind up about what you want to be or where you want to go, and start acting like that today. And then be open to learning those lessons as you go. Okay, cool. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you get some value out of this. Follow me on Instagram at Jody Performance Mind. You can visit my website, www.jodymartins.co. Cool. Enjoy the rest of your day.